When I left Christianity and fundamentalist churches and religions, I realized that in the Midwest, where Republican and conservative Christian values are at its strength, there are men out there, and I don't want to create a stereotype where all conservative men in the Midwest do that. I'm saying it's prevalent enough that Harris, the Democratic candidate last year for president, made an ad about it. It's important because it does happen, and it's illegal. Husbands can intimidate their wives to vote like him, or force her to lie by omission if she dares to vote differently. So anyone who was around in 2024 probably remembers that vote where two women go inside to vote with their conservative, usually Christian husbands, and they vote the way they want to, which is probably not the way he told her that's how they're going to vote. And the women lock eyes. They know, but the husbands don't. And then all the conservative men seem to go crazy about the idea of teaching their wives to lie and keep secrets. I mean, conservative men, they're going to die on the hill that women dare to lie to them, instead of looking at the situation and thinking, why would women need to lie? But instead they think, how dare you teach women to lie to their husbands? Instead of thinking, wow, they actually have to lie because we try to control their lives. When you grow up or live in very conservative Christian circles, they believe in the umbrella authority in Christianity. That God's at the top, the husband's below, then the wife, then the kids. That's the umbrella of authority idea. In the Midwest, it's very common for people to have home structures where the man is the authority and final decider in the home. This is extremely sexist and dehumanizing to women. Now, if all of your strengths and weaknesses as a couple makes it wise or smart for the man to make final decisions about certain things because he may have a degree in it, he may be the most qualified, and she may not know how to make those decisions or doesn't want to. And if they have a mutual agreement that he makes certain decisions and what she's good at and what her strengths are, she might make the final decisions, fine. I'm more of the mutual agreement kind of person. But as long as one person doesn't make the final decision because of their sex and their made-up divine authority, I don't care what structure you have in your home. You don't get to be in charge just because you're a man. You have to prove you're experienced, that you can rule well, that you have the consent of the person that you're protecting. But honestly, it's the 21st century. Women don't need to be protected from anyone but men. And let's be honest, men don't protect women consistently. Every 10 minutes in the U.S., women are killed by men who dare to believe that their will and their authority and their entitlement is more important than a woman having another 40 years of her life. Women have to lie going into vote because men's fragile ego and their entitlement is so big that the marriage would probably crack, or there would be an outright riot if women dared to exercise autonomy. Women have a right to vote or not vote in any way she pleases. She doesn't even have to tell you how she votes. It's not your business. And the same goes for a man. No woman has a right to ask a man how he votes. Now, if he wants to broadcast it, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you create a situation where someone, especially a vulnerable woman, has to lie, she's not the villain here. Her lie is a symptom of a bigger, more toxic relationship structure. And in my opinion, if a woman has to lie to keep the peace, to be safe, and to be respected, she's not the problem. Now, lying is never okay. I get that. But if you make someone feel like in order to have a good day, they have to lie to you, you're the red flag. And it just shows how men in conservative circles don't take accountability consistently for their behavior. Good men would look at that presidential voting ad and say, wow, we men create an environment that women have to lie in order to stay married with a good life. We create that environment as men. What is wrong with us? But no, they say that women are rebelling against men. Like, women can't rebel against men. Men aren't in charge. And if they are, it's because ignorant people or intentionally wicked people put them there. Women don't have to submit to men. Women have been proven to be better leaders than men could ever dream of becoming. The future is gay and female, in case you haven't gotten the memo. The best leaders we've ever had in the world have been females, consistently. And when the Bible or Christians and conservatives say that it's natural for men to be in charge, look at the way the world is going into the toilet and then say in a straight face that men make better leaders. Most of the chaos we have in this world is because white, cis, heterosexual men are in charge. People who have never been pregnant, have no clue what being pregnant is really like, are making pregnant and pregnancy decisions for millions of women. The closest these people have ever gotten to pregnancy is cutting a check and giving it to a woman to get their abortion. That's the closest these men have ever come to being pregnant or enduring a pregnancy. You can't convince me that these people who have voted for anti-abortion haven't paid women for abortions. It's inconceivable. The whole problem with our society is that cis heterosexual men are in charge. Privileged at that. We need to start electing people who aren't cis heterosexual and white and privileged. We need to find experienced, qualified, interesting, and popular people who are minorities, members of the queer community, women. I mean, go any direction than the direction we've always gone, and we will get better as a society. Our country overwhelmingly believe that anyone is better than a minority, a woman, or a liberal. They elected a president with over 30 felonies who's never been convicted, but a judge found guilty of sexual misconduct against vulnerable women. We think that's a good president to vote for? The people who thought so are a danger to our democracy. It is embarrassing to be an American right now. It's embarrassing to be white because of the most famous white people in America are doing right now. It's embarrassing. Every day I wake up and think, oh shit, I'm white. Now, every minority, every woman, every marginalized community, when they look at me, they're going to see me as a potential threat because of what the worst of white people are doing right now. And that's the duty of every white person. When you wake up in the morning, if your actions aren't the best forms of white behavior, you are in trouble. You will at some point get karma for voting for people who view anyone who isn't cis, heterosexual white people as anything but supreme. And it's terrible. But if women have to lie about who they vote for, whoever they live with, whoever they consider their partner, is the red flag here. And anyone who can't see that and doesn't want to take accountability for allowing and continuing that kind of toxic dynamic is a dangerous person for women to be around.